Today I'm also talking about how to overcome negative emotions. And I'd like to talk a little bit about anger. I remember a time that I was preparing to be an actor in one of Swami Kriyananda's plays. This was The Peace Treaty. And Dharmadas and he had a very large role. He was playing Lord Christar, and I was playing Lady Andala. And Lady Andala has a very small part, just a few lines, but they pack a punch. And her main speech is one that is a curse on the former ruler of the land who has been defeated. But at this point, Lady Andala is cursing this leader because he was responsible for her son's death. And so she has good cause to be angry and upset, but her words are very, very, very intense. So one day in our little house at Ananda Village, Dharmadas was out in the garden, working in the garden, and I was inside putting dishes away from having washed them, some little mundane task, and I was practicing my anathema, my curse. And about halfway through my little speech, Dharmadas came bursting in the house. "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "I'm just practicing my speech." But that illustrated to me just how an intensity of voice and loudness and the choice of words. He couldn't even really hear the choice of words, but he could hear the energy of it, and it was shocking. So sometimes we, sitting on this volcano of emotion, feel that we have to express ourselves, and so we let out these outbursts of intense feeling, loud voice, tone of voice that's shocking to other people. So we have to realize that if we act in that way, it's violent. And it doesn't help anything. It often alienates people. It shocks people. And people just want to be at peace. Swami Kriyananda, in one of his books, makes the statement that we need to allow other people to define their own feelings and not to impose our feelings on them. So we need to find appropriate ways to get rid of that volcanic feeling in a safe environment through therapy or through talking to a friend who understands you and loves you and is not blown away by your volcano. I remember once a friend of mine was having relationship troubles, and she had been through a great deal. It was very traumatic for her. And she lived in a different country, and I got to see her after some time. And I said to her, "You weren't able to talk to the person himself?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Were you able to talk to friends about what had happened?" And she said, "Well, yes." And I said, "That is a gift. That you had someone to talk to. Because so often we suffer these traumas and there's no one to talk to about it. So it's good not to impose on your friends and talk to them to the point of where they can't stand it anymore. But it is helpful to be able to truly express your feelings to someone who can hear you. And I remember a time when another friend of mine had gotten a divorce. It was very painful. And then her ex-husband and his new wife were entering into this new situation in which she would have to interact with them. And they had requested something of her which she found extremely unreasonable. And she was railing to me about how dare they, how could they, how could they even think of asking such a thing? And I just kept saying to her, oh, those poor people. And she would reel in shock, and then she'd come in with another volley against them. And I just kept repeating, oh, that's so sad that they would be that insecure that they would have to ask you for that. And I just kept reminding her that she was stronger than anything that could pull her down from those people. That she was the older child, you might say, the one that's responsible, the one that's more spiritually advanced, the one that's able to act courageously. And so that's what we need to do with ourselves too, to be bigger than these little problems, these little hurts that happen. And to realize that anger is not the answer. We have to work these emotions out of our bodies. And I often recommend to people who have gone through traumatic relationships or whatever it is, loss of a job, loss of a home, financial problems, health problems, people problems, all these sorts of things, to try to get them out of your body, whether it's Epsom salts baths or running marathons or even taking a daily walk, getting body work, group therapy so that you can talk it out, learning a new sport so that you're out there working out your anger on the pickleball court or whatever it is. But you need to be proactive in flushing those toxic feelings out of your body. There's a scripture in India that talks about anger. An angry man is like a snake in the house. Everyone wants to kill it. No one likes to be around anger. No one likes to hear that kind of energy. It's disruptive. It's painful. Everyone wants to get away. And so we don't want to repulse our friends. We want to be attractive through love, through compassion, through generosity. You can imagine the people who have hurt you as this tall, and you are 10 stories tall. Be bigger than those who have hurt you. Let them just be tiny little specks in the vast consciousness of your mind and work towards actively flushing from your system, body, mind, and soul, all animosity. There's a beautiful line in the Astral Ascension Ceremony written by Swami Kriyananda that says, "Forgive all those who ever hurt you or ever wished you harm." That's what we need to do today. Don't wait until the afterlife. Do it now. And realize that everything is karma, and those people who hurt you were only instruments for your karma that you created. And the instrument is going to suffer the consequences of its actions too. As the Bible said, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." And as a very wise friend of mine once said to me, when I was going through a very difficult time, being blamed for something that I could not fathom that I had done. I felt very, very misunderstood and judged. And she said to me, "If you did it, lay it at God's feet. And if you didn't do it, lay it at God's feet." That's what we need to do, to accept what is. If people judge us, keep your mind open. Take what they say. Sri Yukteswar says to do this. If people criticize you, weigh it inside. Is it true? Is it not true? If it's true, then learn from it and move on. Don't worry about people judging you. Most people have no idea what they're talking about anyway. Just have compassion and do what you know is true. And God will help you if you ask Him. So lay it all at God's feet, trust in Him, and move forward with your life free from anger.